Hey guys, Malatos here. The video you're about to watch is the first part of a long interview, and I want to thank Boshi to have been able to give me such opportunity to question some cheat developers, because it's something I never really saw in the TF2 sphere, and I hope you guys will enjoy that. Obviously, that interview is not here to bring any judgment on people about that. I want you guys to stay respectful in the comment section if possible, and do not go harass the people in that video. Anyway, if you enjoy that content, consider liking and subscribing, because it does help a lot, and that type of content do take a lot of time to make. Alright, enjoy the video. Okay, in one sentence, can all of you tell me what do most players would get wrong about cheat developers?
I don't know. I guess I never
don't know about that one, because it's kind of hard. Consider them as cheaters as well.
Yeah, because I mean, the average perspective of a legit player about a cheater is that, oh, that guy has no skill and he cheats to compensate for that, I guess. But when it comes to cheat developer, you gotta take like a lot of other things into consideration, like I guess the effort they put in, like the amount of work they do, like it depends. And I don't know.
Like, in my opinion, they just skip over the fact that you did something that took time and effort, and they just ignore it and completely chuck it into the barrel of, like, yeah, you're a dirty cheater, we kick you. But yeah, they probably just not gonna bother actually giving a shit about the work you've done.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I get that. Can each of you basically introduce yourself, like tell me who you are mostly in the TF2 3, because we focus on that, and what were you known before, like your current project?
Alright, I guess I'm gonna go first then. Well, I'm Cleric. Hi, I'm Cleric. I'm a cheat developer and a C++ programmer. I started about 3 or 4 years ago, I think. I'm not exactly certain because, well, I know cheat development I started 3 years ago, something like that. So I'm pretty new to that department. But coding in general, I'm not exactly sure. Like, I can't pinpoint an exact date when I started. And I mean, before my current project, I wasn't really known for anything much. I was just a guy playing TF2.
I'm go by the alias Rudd. I've been developing cheats for probably about 15 years now, give or take. I started cheating in TF2 in 2012 and started making my own cheats around 2015 with Lithium, which was my first project with cheats in TF2, which then came onto Origin in 2021. And yeah, that's pretty much it with the whole TF2 sphere of things. Cheating outside of that, I did cheat in games like Rust, Overwatch for a little bit. That was really boring. In terms of programming, I started learning programming when I was 12 years old. I am now 26 years old. I know C++, PHP, Node.js, pretty much any language you can think of. I can easily jump into any language with no real problem. Not sure what else to add to that, but that's pretty much
That's
who I
quite
am.
cool. That's quite a lot, honestly.
So my name is Mad. I'm a cheat developer for a specific project. And I've been coding since around 2015. So that was when I was about like 14 years old. Give or take, of course. I got into TF2 around 2017, 2018. I'd say late 2017. And I quit the game for about 3 to 4 years because I was busy in CSGO. I was making cheats in that game, learning coding and stuff, and just developing my passion for the code. I know C, C++, I touched some Python, PHP, like I've done some other stuff also that I don't want to talk about since it's in real life related. And I recently, well, not recently, around 4 years ago, I got into TF2 pretty heavily and I just stayed here, I guess.
Okay. And if you could basically give a message to like the legit community, and what would you want them to understand about your POV? Because you told me earlier that there was a lot of work was going into developing a cheat software. What would you want to for them to understand about your POV?
I mean, from my opinion, like I don't want to force anyone's views because that's exactly what they are, just other people's views. They have the right to their opinion, but I can tell you more about the, like, for example, problems or difficulties that come into cheat development, which one of them is actually knowing a programming language and knowing how to operate it properly. For example, solving problems in that language and not messing stuff up, basically, because it's pretty easy, especially in C++. C++ is regarded as a pretty difficult language to learn, even though that wasn't my perspective because I really like it. But other people might have difficulty with it, especially because of memory management and other stuff I'm not going to go into detail about. But specifically the cheat development, you also need, like, for example, knowledge of the game engine and how it operates, math knowledge, and basically, yeah, just a lot more detailed stuff that you just need to work on, like build experience with. So I'd say cheat development isn't as easy as people think, and I guess if well, I don't know, if they really would want to pay attention to that, then sure. But yeah.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
So this question is about legit players understanding my POV. PvP games are designed around being overly competitive, and they're no longer like they used to be. So cheating is more popular these days because of it, and to be honest, it is a big selling factor to people who work a lot and don't have time to adapt to the skill ceiling. And people like me who enjoy cheating in games and making cheats for them. No one's ever going to be happy when they go up against someone who's rage hacking or other forms of cheating against them. But at the end of the day, it's a game, and if you're not going to get killed by a cheater and you don't play the game that often, you probably will get owned by someone who is unemployed or is making money by making content for said game. And TF2 is no different from other modern games in that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that take. You need a lot of time to invest in the game to like be able to play at a decent level.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at games like Rust, Call of Duty, I mean, yeah, people say there's no skill ceiling in that game because there's a skill-based matchmaking or whatever, but you can casually play and you'll eventually rank up so much where the game is unfun to play because everyone you go up against is better than you because they have more time to play the games than you. And not being funny, it's reasons why games like Helldivers 2 are really popular is because it's a PvE game. You know, AI doesn't get better, it stays the same for the most part, other than difficulty. I think, you know, not trying to go too off topic, but I think I think in the future we're going to see a lot more PvE games because cheating will become much bigger. Definitely much bigger.
Okay. What about you, Mad?
To be honest, like everything was said already, but probably the biggest thing, like development-wise, that I could think about is probably the time and effort it takes to actually write something from scratch, and the dedication to do it and not give up along the way. And the other thing would be like, if someone tells you they're a developer for a cheat or something, just take it with a grain of salt because they might as well be copying stuff from ChatGPT or whatever.
Okay. So basically, you know, like we already discussed a bit about it, there is a villain stereotype with potrayed about cheaters. Basically, what is fair about that and what would not be fair about it? I feel like we can already talk about it with the time and effort you put into creating the tool, but do you think of other things like maybe like a stereotype or caricature would exist about cheaters and that you would like people to kinda distance them away about it?
So, I guess, I mean, that's kind of funny, not gonna lie. Like, to be fair, I get where that perspective would be coming from. Like, just doing some evil, using coding for evil purposes, making cheats for video games. But, I mean, it's just something, it's just something you like to do. Like, coding in general is just something that, well, from my perspective, I like to do. Whether it's for a game that I also enjoy playing, or it's for something else. And I mean, it's this perspective is kind of funny, but as long as it doesn't go overboard, as long as it doesn't get like way too serious, because obviously I'm just not some big villain evil guy. I'm just doing my own thing, and that's it. I'm just doing what I like. And about changing that perception, actually, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, maybe someone else could talk about it.
Okay.
The villain stuff comes from game companies like Riot Games and Blizzard paying people like Anti-Cheat PD to go on Twitter and talk about cheaters being arrested, you know, the ones who live in South Korea and China. And they always make examples out of people who are, you know, complete losers who cheat, because obviously that's what they do. I'm pretty sure a lot of those big people, including streamers who vilify cheaters and particularly cheat developers as well, actually probably get paid money. I know some of them do, like I know Anti-Cheat PD does, but I think the whole villain stereotype comes not only from the fact that game companies, when they make shit games and then they use cheaters as a scapegoat to cope about how bad their game was, and it wasn't bad, it's actually because of cheaters. In my opinion, you're never going to get rid of that villain stereotype because you're cheating in a game and ruining people's fun. And it's gotten more villainy, I guess, as you'd say, with all the streamers glazing their favorite game studio about how bad cheaters are or whatever. That's at least what I've noticed. So I've been outside of TF2 in terms of cheats, because Regen had a Overwatch cheat, which got the attention of a anti-cheat BD, which that guy is interesting, saying the least.
Yeah, indeed. What about you, Matt?
Well, the villain stereotype, I think, in my opinion at least, it's like stemming from the fact that we are literally the evil people providing cheats to the cheaters, you know, and people think that they destroy the games and stuff. Well, I don't think anything can change that, like, perception, because, like, we are the evil guys. We make the cheats that destroy the beloved online games. But at the same time, we are, like, only existing and trying to work on our, like, skills. Like, maybe they are niche, like cheat development for Team Fortress 2, I guess. But in the bigger picture, we are actually developing our, like, programming skills and problem-solving abilities at the same time.
So I was wondering, like, your take on basically on the bot hosting aspect, and the fact that they kind of rip off your work in a way to do that.
So first, to get into that question, we have to set the grounds for something first. There are different kinds of developers. There's developers that provide free open source software, and there's developers that develop their own private software, and they choose carefully which who would use their software. We are from the second group. Our project is basically private, and only a few amount of people ever got in. So we haven't really, like, provided solutions or options for botting or bot hosting, something like that. And my personal opinion on it is that those guys who do it are kind of losers. So, like, they're pretty much disliked throughout the whole HVH community, and I mean, that's my opinion as well on them. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I am responsible by inspiring the original devs to make the navbot stuff for all the bots in TF2. It's kind of I mean, if you've seen my channel in the past, I made stuff about follow bots, which didn't have the capability of navigating the map. They had the follow player. That was cool because there was a lot of AI, not, like ChatGPT AI, but like logic you can do to make cool stuff. But then a bunch of annoying people came by and ruined that, and it got turned into something very dirty, as I would say. I ended up developing an algorithm that was able to detect a cheater from a bot, and then that's when bots TF with Regen was created, where the bot list was publicized and then actively maintained. like the bot hosters because a lot of them are, allegedly pedophiles, which doesn't surprise me because you'd be surprised how that's prevalent with those people who host bots and want really a lot of attention. But I think if it wasn't for the bots in TF2, I think Region would have probably had some form of automation features like that. But obviously with that, we wanted to stay away at the time from that stuff and just do something else.
Okay.
But screw those guys. I didn't like them.
Yeah, nobody likes them. What about you?
Well, the main difference is that we're not really providing them code or anything to create those bots. Like, let's start with that. Because first of all, I'm pretty sure we all here develop for Windows, and all of the bots, like at least most of them, like 90%, were hosted on Linux. And for example, I don't have experience in making cheats in Linux. So yeah, that's one thing. The other thing is that they are pretty much disliked all over the community, no matter like who they are or what they do. And personally, I've seen some stuff, and I'm fairly certain, like Ruth said, 90% of those are, well, allegedly pedophiles, or they are weird in some regard. And I don't really like them, nor do I wish to help them in any way. And mainly, that's the reason I stopped providing like code snippets on a specific website. I'm not sure if I can say or not.
You can say. I think I have an idea of who it is. So it's
unknown cheats.
Yeah.
I don't want the bots to actually develop further.
I kind of like tried to go back on like the building and kind of like the shipping aspect. So you told me basically you were on the second type of developers to like keep the cheat private. I guess you have a good understanding of the TF2 cheating market. And can you tell me if that market is big or small? Because for us as legits, it's just that we bump into cheaters and we see like a lot of them here and there, but we don't really know a lot of things about like the behind the scenes, the market, the website and stuff like that.
It's gonna be like something for me because I was a part of the pay to cheat, so that might make more sense. It's the thing of TF2 cheating is you got a lot of people who don't have money to buy things, so it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
If you're looking at like income, which I will not go too much into, but if you like have something like Lamau Box, you know that one-time payment isn't really a viable business model because Cheat's already technically a live service type software. You have to always maintain them, and lifetime, eventually you're gonna have everyone who wants to cheat in TF2, and the only customers you're gonna have are people who want to cheat in a blue moon. Honestly, I would say there's about 150 to 200 cheaters in TF2 as of right now. There probably would be around 500 to 1,000 before the game bans, but since that happened, it kind of got sliced in half because people don't want the Jared from Steam support wiping all their Steam accounts for cheating in TF2. Understandable, because they have been doing that still, because they just don't want people cheating in TF2, and particularly hosting bots. So it sounds like a lot, but like that's like you compare the amount of people who play TF2 and then the amount of cheaters, that's pretty small. I mean, it's still a lot, but well, not. It depends on who you're referring to, if it's a lot or not. Because TF2 is not exactly a game like Rust where one cheater could kill an entire server. Because you know, it's a survival game. If you get raided, you lose everything, or you could lose everything if you get rage hacked across the map. TF2 isn't like that. Market. Not as big as CS:GO or Counter-Strike.
I kind of thought there would be like more cheaters. I don't know, I was expecting like maybe 2,000, something like that.
There's a lot less. Like, a lot of people say there's like a lot of cheaters. Like, if there was like 2,000 cheaters in TF2, every game would be an HVH and it'd be unplayable. Like, when bots were in the game, there was like 1,300 bots, constant queuing, casual, 24/7. That's why it was impossible during dead hours to find any game without them. Now there's like not even 10 bots, probably 0. It's only cheaters now.
Yeah.
And that was from statistics during Region's Prime, because I made a little thing that had statistics on a daily basis of how many cheaters were found in casual versus bots, and it was kind of 50-50 split. So that's what I referred, to about like a minute ago.
Yeah.
Like a prime example of that would be I keep bringing up Rust, but everyone in that game is paranoid about cheaters. They say there's like millions of cheaters in that game. In reality, there's probably only like 50 cheaters or 10, because cheats are expensive in that game. People exaggerate all the time. It happens.
Yeah.
I mean, you really won't know how much cheaters are in the game, because how do you know they're cheating in the first place? You can assume they are, but at the end of the day, it is based off of either own detection algorithms or whatever list you're using.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess I can also, sorry for interruption, but I could add something to this, even though we haven't really catered to all the TF2 cheating markets, should we say like that. But from my perspective, we gotta take into consideration the fact that a game as popular as TF2 will never be cheater-free. Like, as popular as TF2 is, there's always going to be at least one person that's going to look for cheats for a way to hack the game, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I mean, the POV of that is me making Half-Life 2 cheat. Imagine that game was what was that game called? Fistful of Frags. Like, that game is mostly dead, but I made a cheat for that game, and that's the only cheater you're ever going to see in that game. It's any PvP game that exists will be cheated in, pretty much.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it can be because of a lack of time or with other things. But yeah, I don't accept the game to be cheat-free, honestly.